Welcome to my garage. So what we have here is the terrain and units I've been putting together with paper. This has taken a lot longer than I expected. Fortunately, there was a lot of scrap cardboard that I could take advantage of. If you turn to page 10 on the Chainmail 3rd edition rules, page 10 talks about terrain selection. It says you can basically have 20 pieces of terrain. I have created 20 pieces. They're a little bit different. I do have 4 hills, 1, 2, 3, and then this 4th one is a plain section that turned out darker. I'm just turning it into a hill. I've got 2 marsh, whereas the rules call for 1. I've got a gully. I've got 2 wood lines up there, pond, 2 water crossings instead of 1. One of them a major river, the other one a bridged river, which should create some interesting tactical possibilities. I've got 2 pieces of rough ground compared to 1, and then I have these plain tiles, 2 of which are to denote farmland, and the other denotes a little village crossroads area that again might offer some interesting tactical situations depending on the rules that I use. I'm looking at solo wargaming rules, a set for basically the deployment and activities of the other side can be dictated by a system called Sarge. There are 2 systems, an advanced and a simplified system. I like the way Sarge is laid out, but I think I can simplify it even more. And much like chess, I think there's a beginning game, a middle game, and an end game when it comes to deploying units onto the battlefield. The beginning game, where the units get deployed, what formation they're in initially. I do like what I've heard about Featherstone's wargaming, where you can potentially act as if you were not the original commanding general, and you walk into a situation that is basically a mess created by somebody else, and then you have to fix it and still achieve your tactical objectives. So the beginning game, I believe in a lot of random activity. For the mid-game, perhaps these Sarge rules might be interesting because they assign a primary, secondary, and tertiary objective that can basically take 3 different sections of your unit and attract them. They act as attractors to those units. And then there are also some rules about whether the commander of those subunits is impetuous or kind of timid. Of course, you know, with my army training, I would be looking at situations of mass versus economy of force versus security. You know, how much do you keep in reserve? How much do you care about your rear guard? And again, what kind of tactical situations you're going to be simulating on the battlefield, whether you're talking about a movement, contact, deliberate attack, deliberate defense, you know, zone recon. You know, my brain is just swimming with things that I can do now that I've kind of assembled an army. And that brings me to the next part. So each of these units is meant to represent 20 men. And the basing, I hate to tell you, is a little bit wrong, right? They're 1 inch wide, so the bases are 25 millimeters. But because of the way the tiles laid out, and I thought they just looked aesthetically more pleasing, I made them 35 millimeters deep. So when it comes to cavalry units, that's probably a little less than it should be, but when it comes to infantry units, it's much more. So let's go through what these units actually are. I've got for both of these the armies of Sinister and Dexter, to use Latin. One of them is the left hand, and one of them is the right hand. Right hand, you could use red or blue, but it was just easier for me to figure out which token was going to be what, based on the facing of the men in the picture and their army, or their arms and equipage. I guess that's a word. I guess maybe I should start here with my heavy horse, and then I'm going to shift left here to the armored foot because it's basically dismounted knights. I tried to pick pictures that looked somewhat similar, although the background on that's very dark. And then moving down here, we have our heavy infantry, heavy foot. These would be professional men-at-arms or, you know, actual soldiers, whereas these heavy foot I thought could be mercenaries or maybe trained levies, not sure. Shifting down here, let's talk about, okay, so that was heavy cavalry, heavy horse. Here's the medium horse. I mean, if you zoom in, it doesn't really pick it up that well. But if you look at the image, these guys meet the definition of what Gygax would have for medium horse. And then these meet the definition for light horse. I mean, they're lightly equipped, and this flag makes, the flag, the black background, and the barding make these three types of units easy to distinguish, in my opinion, which is why I chose those tokens. Down here, we've got Lightfoot. I think I would consider these to be peasants. Another variation of Lightfoot, again, you can see that they're lightly armored. They've got a helmet and shield, but really they're equipped with a javelin and not much going on below the waist to protect them. These would be traditional Lightfoot, whereas these would be more peasants, or perhaps these would be levies, I'm not sure. Coming down here, we've got our dreaded archers. Again, 20, 40, 60, 80 for Sinister, and 20, 40, 60, 80 of them for Dexter. And then lastly, we've got crossbowmen. Whether they're heavy crossbowmen or regular, I would leave to the scenario. Maybe I'll print out another additional set. Anybody that wants to put together this kind of cardboard stuff, problems I ran into, need sharper scissors. Definitely it crimps the edges. If I would have had a cutter instead of just a craptastic pair of scissors, it might have turned out. But from a distance, you can see it, it'll probably get the job done. And then I'll get some green felt and some blue and some brown for the roads. And basically, I will roll for terrain. I will randomly place the terrain. Some of these pieces I put 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the back. So the orientation, I'm going to make that random as well. That way, and then do the initial deployment, and then after that, randomly determine which side I'm going to play. So that should take out any of my biases. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing my first. So how many men are on the board here? So 24, 60, 80, 100. So 80 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 800 men on each side. That's quite a pretty decent sized battle for medieval times. Definitely much more than a skirmish. And what the actual point value is, maybe I'll look up and figure out. But I think this is going to give me, you know, I'm going to have a bigger table than this to play on. But yeah, I am to the point now where I can actually like start pushing pieces around and enjoying myself. It's taken the better part of a Sunday and a Monday evening to get to this point where, you know, I've got cardboard backing on these instead of just paper so they don't float away. Some of them heavier cardboard than others. You know, there is definitely some suspension of disbelief and some imagination that's going to have to go on once I do get a table laid out. Anyway, I'll take pictures as the first battle progresses and kind of narrate it for you.